Happy Wednesday, or Hump Day if you guys celebrate. Of course, welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri. We've got Erik Ruby back. We got DJ Danielle pushing all the buttons and making all the magic happen behind the Mac. We appreciate everybody hopping in today on National Signing Day. Of course, we're going to get into Arizona State's class of 2024 on National Signing Day. We're going to be talking a little bit about Antonio Pierce and Jayden Daniels. Saw a very interesting potential possibility about those two, I guess, reuniting and teaming up in Las Vegas. Also saw just an absolutely ridiculous graphic of the best college football players defensively of all time. Terrell Suggs on that list, but ranked a little bit lower than I think maybe people would initially think, especially in Tempe, guys. But before we get into all of that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, leave a 5-star review. Let us know what you like about this podcast. Welcome all the ASU fans, and then I'm sure we're going to get some fans of either Colorado or Arizona hopping in at some point, just because I took to Twitter a little bit earlier and decided we were going to stir the pot.
You took to Twitter?
We're making gumbo. We're stirring that big-ass pot. But before we get into all of that fun, we've got some really awesome news at PHNX. We've got a new show launching, a very new show hosted by, arguably the greatest writer in Arizona history.
One of the best reporters the world has ever seen. I do not say that sarcastically.
Craig Morgan, he just dropped the very first episode of The Focus. He's going to be sitting down and really doing in-depth conversations with some of the greatest legends in Arizona sports history. And ironically enough, episode number 1 featured former Arizona State legend Jake Plummer. This is just a little snippet of the very first episode of The Focus.
I loved Pat. I mean, he challenged you as any good friend would. He challenged you, not just physically but mentally, and just with the way he was. He was very much alive and living and not dull. And he challenged himself every day. He wanted to be a better man and do things and had a plan and not just talked about it, but went and did it. So for years there, I was a voice for Pat, and I talked about Pat. And then I had to step back because I don't think I was living in a way that I would be able to go look at Pat and tell him, hey, this is what I'm doing, when he would see right through that and be like, are you really doing that, Jake? Doesn't look like it. He would have called me out on a few times in my life. So Pat's still a motivating part of my life, someone who is very inspirational, and it's really amazing to see what his legacy has become, not just in our USA, but in the world. I mean, Pat's a historical figure that's known by so many people, and he was a dear friend.
I mean, that was just 1 minute of a conversation that lasted, I think, almost an hour, if not longer. So definitely head over. It's on the PHNX Sports YouTube. Go check out that full interview that Craig did with Plummer. And it's one of many that are going to be out. And realistically, guys, some of the best content that we've got here at PHNX. When Craig Morgan has his hands on something, you really know it's going to be good. On top of those mushroom bars.
Okay, so I was about to say, couple things. A, check out the show. You can just tell like how important this is to Craig, and if you know Craig Morgan, and you know that if something's important to him, he's going to do it to the 10th degree plus. Like he's going to kill it. So go check that out, especially ASU fans. You're going to love it. And Jake Plummer's an interesting dude, and he's got a lot of these mushroom bars. And I have committed. I'm going to eat one live.
You got to eat the seed
live on
that
air.
fell,
I got to eat the seed that fell. Yeah. So, it's not like the type of mushrooms that's
no, it's not going to send
trippy.
You into space.
I'm not going to buble it. Okay,
no.
I'm not bubleing
You're not
today.
gonna,
I'm
or
not
maybe he will.
Well,
Maybe he will.
See. I guess we'll see. But I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna give kind of like a live review.
Okay, I'm here for
air.
it. I'm absolutely here for it, man. This is the first time we've done like it's not ASMR, so let's.
I'll get away from the mic.
Yeah. Let's keep away from that. But
damn, that tastes good.
Is it really good?
That tastes good.
Okay,
that tastes good.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here
I'm
for
gonna
it.
eat the rest of this away from the mic, dude. Take a second.
Look, it is National Signing Day, of course, one of the biggest days in college football every single year. Before we get too deep into the weeds of Arizona State's 2024 class and kind of how it stacks up against other Big 12 programs, which I do want to do, Tony in the chat immediately. Totri spewing misinformation on Twitter, Lord mercy. It's not misinformation, to be completely honest with you, but I will get into that tweet in just a little bit. I kind of want to zoom out for a second and just talk about National Signing Day as it is right now. Of course, February 7th, and for such a long period of time, I feel like National Signing Day was realistically one of the best parts of college football, right? You'd always get those moments where kids are up there with their families, their friends, and they got 3-4 hats up there. They're choosing. Sometimes they'd freak out and they'd choose a hat that maybe their family didn't even expect, right? It was always a really, really good time. But now you've got early signing period, right? Early signing period that takes place in December. And it really has, I don't want to say killed it, but it's really diminished, I feel like, the significance and the importance of waking up on National Signing Day and being like, okay, which kids are going to be Arizona State Sun Devils moving forward? Like, How do you feel about kind of just the way that recruiting at this level works now, specifically on National Signing Day, when in reality, not a whole lot's going on for Arizona State because pretty much everybody signed on early signing day.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's one of those things that, like, you kind of pointed out. And you're just like, okay, that does kind of suck. I do miss those moments where the kids, especially the hats, you get so many viral moments. I feel like you still get that in basketball a little bit more than you do with football. But overall, it is tough not to have that anymore. But I don't know. Stuff like this to me, and I don't know if I'm kind of alone in this, I don't care that much. like I care more about the actual players that are signing, not how they get signed or how they show up or anything like that. I just care who's coming, who's not coming, right? And maybe that makes me no fun, probably. But I don't know. I don't lose sleep over it. I think it's unfortunate we don't get those moments, but I'm not like, where's the signing day? I don't know. Am I alone in that?
I mean, for me, I feel like it's just different. I appreciate early signing period just because
I appreciate it.
I think it, with the state of college football as it is now, I think being able to lock in those national letters of intent as early as possible genuinely helps the football programs figure out where their needs are. Right. It's a topic that I do want to get into maybe on another show, just about kind of where college football is and how difficult it is to be a head coach at a program now, because it does feel like almost like you're an NFL GM, right? You have to make sure, certain players are getting paid. You have to understand where everybody is at your roster in terms of depth, in terms of skill, in terms of, which guys are going to be here long term, which guys are one and done, or not one and done, but going to be here for a couple years and then move on. Like, it is such a difficult task, and I think to get the NLIs signed as early as possible really allows some of these coaches to be like, okay, after early signing period, we have an understanding of where this roster's at, maybe needs that we have in the transfer portal that you could take advantage of before you get to spring ball. So it is different. It's new. I don't hate it. I just think it really is changed the way that National Signing Day is viewed. It's not nearly as important in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, there was no build up to today.
No.
Me and you weren't sitting down planning shows and like, ooh, we need to do a National Signing Day preview. Ooh, like.
No, and because we did an early signing period, like, entire thing where we talked to a bunch of signees that are a part of this 2024 class.
Yeah. And you already know what's going on. You know who's coming here. And if you listen to this show or you watch this show, which if you're listening, make sure to rate 5 stars and leave a thumbs up right now. Why does everybody think I'm tripping on mushrooms? Guys, it's not that type of mushrooms. It's actually the mushrooms that will help me focus, Sharon. I will not be tripping on this show.
That'd be pretty crazy, guys. If we just showed up to work today and he just ate a psychedelic mushroom. If
I ate a psychedelic mushroom live on air, I don't think I'd lose my job, but I'm not for sure that I would keep it. It's kind of up in the air. I don't think that's happening. Danielle, Am I gonna trip? I don't know. Am I tripping right now?
So just go watch The Focus with Craig Morgan.
There you go.
And he'll talk about it. He went pretty in depth. I say for the whole interview. He went pretty in depth about the difference and the misconceptions about mushrooms. So yeah, it's really interesting. Go check it out.
I will say I've had a mushroom drink before, so this is not my first time indulging in that. See, Donald's so disappointed in me. Donald, I'm sorry, I'm not tripping at 12:14 on a Wednesday at work.
You're just not doing it good.
I'm sorry.
You're just not.
I'm not Michael Bublé. Anyway, I forget what I was saying. I did lose my focus.
Maybe he is tripping on
maybe,
the mushrooms.
Maybe
listen.
Maybe my body's just not built for this, and maybe no matter whatever shrooms are in my body, I am gonna trip. I'll tell you what, this is not how I thought today was gonna go.
Look,
I'll tell you that for sure. But I'm looking at our list of commits here, and we might not have any news today. But revisiting everything, right? Is there anything that stands out to you? Maybe an underrated signing that we haven't talked about a lot? Because the top two we've talked about quite a bit.
Yeah, so we can get into that. I do want to, for people that aren't necessarily as familiar with the class of 2024, again, early signing period versus signing day, just to go over Arizona State's commits in this 2024 class from the highest rated to the lowest rated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and read them off for you guys. So Jason Brown, Jaden Fortier, Terrell Kim, and for those of you that didn't know, Jason Brown's a running back, Jaden Fortier, tight end, Terrell Kim, an interior offensive lineman, Rodney Bimage, a defensive back, Chris Johnson Jr., defensive back, Faliva Saluni, an interior offensive lineman, Zechariah Sample, listed as an athlete, Albert Smith, a linebacker, Ramar Williams, defensive lineman, Kyan McDonald, who committed just the other day, is a safety, Samisi Tunga is an interior offensive lineman, Champ Westbrooks is an interior offensive lineman, Salisi Manu is an edge, Martell Hughes is a safety. Tony Lewis and Cuba is a corner. James Giggy is a defensive lineman. Plas Johnson is a wide receiver. Kenyon Floyd is a punter. And then Colin Charles listed as a hard commit as a wide receiver for Arizona State. But what stands out to me most about really this class and seeing it kind of come together is realistically the two guys at the top. Jason Brown Jr., and Jaden Fortier listed as the two highest recruits in this class for Arizona State, both by 24/7 Sports, getting ranked as 4 stars with a 90 or above grade. I think it's widely important for Arizona State not only to go out there and reload at key positions like tight end and running back, but for me, what stands out is the fact that Kenny Dillingham and this coaching staff went into those states, went into Washington, went into Oregon, and said, you know what? We're not just looking for talent here.
Yeah.
We're going to go get the best at these positions here, and we're going to bring them to Tempe. And that's exactly what Kenny did. He said, Jason Brown Jr., you're going to be the top of our class.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to get you from Washington when you have, an opportunity to stay home and play for the Washington
And we're going to
Huskies.
get one of your better teammates, too.
Exactly. And then we're going to go
into
McDonald. Oregon, and we are going to go get a 6'5", 220-pound tight end in Jaden Fortier.
The best one in the state.
The best player in the state.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring him to Tempe.
And what I like about this is that, yes, obviously Kenny and the staff has made a big effort to recruit locally, to get Arizona kids. And there are a good amount of Arizona kids on here, but not a majority. And while I think that you could argue, okay, well, what about that whole promise of being in state? I feel like in order to get a lot of kids in state to truly buy in, that success kind of has to come first. They have to see it, witness it, experience it. And you're doing that by going into places like Texas, like Oregon, like Washington, and taking some of the best players. And again, this is really just year one. This is really just the beginning.
A full cycle.
Right. Last year, to me, it's a wash, right? It happened. Let's learn from it. Let's acknowledge it, accept it, all of that, right? But to say that was a fair shot for Kenny to recruit kids, that was a fair shot for Kenny to coach kids, and that was a fair shot for the team to actually go out there and perform to their best ability, it's just not true, right? So clean slate, fresh slate, right now, this is really the first year that this whole staff has had to operate at the top level and really do what they want to do and recruit the kids they want to recruit. And so you have to imagine that as time goes on, this season more successful than the last, and hopefully that continuing as a pattern, they're going to be able to get more of these 4-star guys because there's only 2, right? We're not talking best signing class in the country right here.
No.
But we're talking solid. We're talking good and good enough to make this team better and to be kind of a stepping stone going forward. And I do like the fact that there are teammates on here as well, and Jason Brown and Kyan McDonald, because to me, that's just kind of word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, I love this school. I love this coach. You should at least give them a shot. At least hear them out. Right? And then they do, and then they come here. Right? It's the same thing with Clem, Jalen Clem. It's like, okay, let's give this school a shot. You go on your visit. The next day, you're committed. And so given some time, seeing some success, and seeing this class right now, is it the best? No. Is it good for the position that they're in? Absolutely. And is it better than a couple other schools?
It is. It is better.
Oh, what schools would that be, Totri?
Better than the Arizona Wildcats.
What?
And it is better than the Colorado Buffs.
Oh my God.
And that's what
some
people were tweeting about earlier.
Wait. But I thought those were two powerhouses.
They were supposed to be. They're supposed to be two powerhouses, and I'll tell you right now. And people, Tony specifically in the chat, the only Wildcat fan that has the bravery to say something at the moment. So if you're a Wildcat fan, chime in. Don't worry, we've got an army of Sun Devils ready to take you out here. But I was looking specifically at freshmen coming to the new schools. I'm not talking about transfer rankings. Okay, I'm not talking about overall composite rankings. I'm talking strictly about the class of 2024. Arizona State ranks 7th in the Big 12 with 19 commits. Okay, an overall grade of 197.48 graded by 24/7 Sports. Okay, you go to the very bottom.
The bottom of the bottom.
You're looking at 15 is the Arizona Wildcats with 14 commits. A grade of 162.37. And below them, you have Colorado. Colorado with just 7 commits. Just 7 freshmen. And an overall grade of 130.
That's tough.
7 commits. Now, you can say that Deion Sanders and whatever, like they're building through the portal. That's all great and fine. I said this months ago. When Deion leaves, it's a when, not an if. When Deion leaves that program and everybody loses their shit, Colorado is not only going to lose a significant amount of players headed to the portal wherever Deion goes, or if he opts to just leave college football in general, players will leave because Deion's not there anymore. And the one thing that CU fans aren't talking about is when he leaves, when, again, not if, you have 7 freshmen now, which means guess what? Next year, you'll have 7 sophomores outside of guys that you recruited and got from the portal, right? So you're trying to establish a culture. You're trying to build a culture, right? And you are just opting to recycle and reuse opposing teams' players through the portal every single season instead of building a culture with players that are here, right? That are in the shit, in the grind, in the practices year over year. You're a vacation stop. You're not an actual program. You're not building a culture. You're not doing any. 7 freshmen is ridiculous. 7 is absolutely wild. We have more people in this office right now than Colorado is going to have freshmen coming to their school next year. That is absurd to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. I understand the approach, and I get there were a lot of people that were upset because if you go to the entire composite ranking, which includes transfers and 2024 freshmen, then Colorado has the number 1 class in the Big 12. But that's not what we're talking about. It's National Signing Day. We're talking about the freshmen, okay? And I get it. The players that transferred, they signed their national letters of intent to come to your school and transfer. I'm talking about the class of 2024. Your class of 2024 has 7 players. My class at Arizona State has almost triple that. It's ridiculous to me. And maybe I'm crazy. I just think that is a wild approach to have in college football.
I think you're crazy, but for other reasons. I think it's an understandable take. I mean, listen, if we were Buffs fans, right, and we had to spin zone this, you can. You can say, oh, well, that's, again, they're going all in on their other approach. They're going all in on the transfers, and that's going to work out, and Deion's going to be here forever, and this is going to be awesome, and everything's going to be amazing, and college football playoffs, here we come. Look, the reality is it's not going to go as sweet as that. It's just not. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not. And I keep on saying the term, you can't microwave a football program. And you can't do it year after year after year. You tried microwaving the same meal 5 different times.
It's going to be pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty shitty. You need to kind of have a couple of elements, right? If you want to maybe microwave that rice from the last night, that's fine, but make some fresh chicken, man. Like, get something new in there.
That's crazy.
And that's why I think that balanced approach of Kenny is really nice. And yeah, of course, we're focused on ASU.
It's a balance, though. It is
right.
a balance.
But like, I think we would be saying the same thing. Like, if the roles are reversed and people coming at us people coming at you.
People coming at me, that's
people
fine.
coming at you. And talking about how stupid it is that you brought that up. Oh, you're so biased. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Other mean words, whatever. If the roles were reversed.
Really hurts my feelings, man.
Yeah, I know. You were crying before the show. We had to wipe your tears. It's okay. Listen,
oh my goodness.
if the roles were reversed, we'd be calling ASU out for doing it the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Like that's the thing here is that if Kenny was building purely through the portal, only through the portal, and had absolutely no signees, none, freaking 7 of them, we'd be sitting here saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why aren't you trying to like build this in multiple different ways? Why aren't you just trying to cover your losses? Because the transfer portal is such a tricky game to play. And it always will be, because you're getting guys and you're completely changing their location, their environment, sometimes their position, and a lot of times their responsibilities involved. And while that could be like the lottery and you could hit big and that's great, it's also
you will always need freshmen.
Risk. It's also a huge risk. And we talk about, the Alabamas of the world, the Georgias of the world, the Michigans of the world, these schools that are the top of the top. They've got guys coming in as freshmen who are committed to the cause, understand they're not really going to play a lot unless they are all-time otherworldly elite talent, and they're bought into the program, and by sophomore and junior year, either they're done and they want to leave, or they're out there contributing for you at a high level.
Yeah.
If they want to leave, that's fine, but you need to at least take enough shots on guys to think that a couple are going to stick around.
Yeah, Sharon in the chat with a good comment. The fact that Dion is living in the portal just seems to really show that he is short-term for CU. Flash in the pan success for his kids, and then he's gone. Colorado will be left a mess. LTC. Dion isn't even trying to be slick about it either. That's just
and AD saying, didn't Colorado beat ASU last season? Oh, way to bring up something we're literally not even talking about at all.
No, that's fine. Colorado did in fact beat Arizona State last season. It was their last win of the season, which occurred, I believe, in October. And Colorado, even with that win over Arizona State, which was a 3-win football team, still found a way to finish below Arizona State in the conference standings.
Yeah.
Bottom, by the way, the very bottom, the last team. You seen that scene from Shark Tale where it goes the food chain, right? You're right below the whale shit at the very, very bottom. That's where Colorado was in the Pac-12 standings.
At least they're consistent, right?
Yeah.
Bottom of the Pac-12 standings, bottom of the signing day ranking.
Yeah, at least you're consistent with it.
That's the thing with Dion, right? Like, if he's going to be there, he's going to at least follow through and be the same Dion through and through.
The bottom.
No, listen, and I really, honestly, I feel like we should get somebody from DNVR Buffs on this show, because a lot of the interaction is via social media, and usually when we, and by we again I mean you, piss people off.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I just kind of like,
I'm a hater, man. I told y'all I'm a hater.
See, I'm a hater, but like I'm a hater who's like, I'm gonna let him hate and I'm gonna cheer him on from the sides, but I ain't getting in all that, man. I ain't getting in all that.
It is what it is. I do want to talk Arizona State just a little bit more on that 2024 signing class, and we were talking about the top 2 players in the class being Jason Brown and Jayden Fortier, and you know, I do want to discuss how this class differs from last year's class, and just how important it is to fully understand that just because Jason Brown Jr. and Jayden Fortier are the top 2 graded players doesn't necessarily mean that those guys are going to be the absolute best players at Arizona State early on. Because you look last season at the 2023 class for Arizona State, the highest graded player was Jaden Rashada, of course, on the team. Had a 97 rating. 4-star. People had him as a 5-star at some point. We know he was obviously the starting quarterback for Arizona State. But you look at other guys that were immediate contributors for the Sun Devils, and were graded somewhere in between, right? They weren't necessarily at the top. Montana Warren, right, was an 86, was ranked not even in the top 7 or 8 of Arizona State's players in the 2023 class. Montana Warren potentially would have been in the rotation if he hadn't got hurt at that safety position. You look at another one in Sean Na. Sean Na was actually right below Montana Warren, not even in the top 10. And Sean Na projects to be a starting offensive lineman for Arizona State this season, played starting minutes last season for the Sun Devils, right? Kyson Brown Jr. CJ Fight, again, not in the top 10. He proves to be one of the best interior defensive linemen for the Sun Devils going into this season, right? So there are guys that you won't see in the top 3, top 4 players that, everybody loses their minds, rightfully so, over a 5-star, 4-star guy. But you do have to rely on the coaches and their understanding of the game to truly evaluate all of these kids, right?
Yeah.
They all have a plan because of Kenny and the staff. They've got an idea of what they want for these guys. And I think that says a lot about Kenny Dillingham and the staff based off of what they were able to do last season with a short amount of time and get contributors. So now he's got a full cycle. Imagine what he can do, and realistically, the 2025 class is the class that I'm looking at for Arizona State that could potentially make some noise.
Each class should get better with time because this team should get better with time, which means the NIL buy-in is going to get better with time, which means that the player recognition is going to get better with time, and it's going to be a domino effect.
Yeah.
And again, you are seeing and we are watching things play out completely different ways for Colorado and for ASU. And for right now, sure, you can argue that Colorado will be a better football team next year. I don't think it's going to be miles better like a lot of Colorado fans say. I don't think they're making the college football playoffs. I don't know if they're going to be in the top 25.
It blows my mind, man. It really does.
Listen, it's kind of like a cult, right? Like they're so bought in and they want to believe so bad that they have to tell themselves the best case scenario is going to work out, because until it doesn't, you can at least talk yourself into it.
They were 4-8 last year, man.
Oh, right, but who wins, them or 2019 LSU?
But think like this is, and I don't want to get on my soapbox here, man. But I'm
Do it. Get on the box.
They went 4-8 last season. 4-8. Arizona State went 3-9. But wait, I was told that Dion was the second coming in Colorado. I thought they were going to be a CFP team.
Hey, they beat Nebraska.
Did you see? I think it was Phil Yates the other day. Was on PHNX Cardinals, or he was on DNVR whatever, talking about how potentially Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter have the ability to go 1-2 in the NFL draft next season. That would be awesome for Colorado. That'd be great. What does it say when you have potentially the first overall and second overall pick in the NFL draft and you go 4-8? You go 4-8. You were the worst team in the Pac-12. What does it tell me about your coach? Well, it tells me that he couldn't get, again, a team with arguably the 2 best players in college football to a bowl game. He couldn't even get him to 5 wins. Hell, he couldn't even get him to 11th. He couldn't even get him to the second worst team in the conference. He sat there and was the worst. That's what it tells me. So, Colorado fans, I don't know why you flex like you've got something, because you don't. You don't. You'll be lucky to reach bowl eligibility this season. Lucky to do it. I told y'all last year that y'all were losing your shit. 3 games, you would have swore they were the number 1 team in the country. You beat a shit TCU team. Congratulations, your win of the year. Nebraska was awful. Colorado State had you on the ropes, and you beat an Arizona State team that had half their team in the ICU because they had injuries every single fucking week. That's what those were your wins. Colorado on the other end, who'd you beat? Nobody else. Last I checked, you blew a 30-plus point lead to Stanford.
Hey, they almost beat USC. Almost.
Just absolutely mind-blowing to me. It really is. They live in Delulu land. Like, that's what Colorado fans, like, they just reside. They sit there in Crazy Town, and they just expect, like, I don't know. I've never seen a fan base in my life more delusional than Colorado. Yeah, it really is crazy.
You know the memes about the Pat McAfee show where AJ Hawk is just sitting there saying nothing?
He's just nodding.
That's how I feel. And I enjoy doing this when you start going off on Colorado, because I'm just like, all right, I'm going to sit back.
At least
I'm going to enjoy the ride.
At least Arizona fans can be like, hey, we're a preseason top 25 team, rankings-wise, right? At least you could say that. You Noah Fafita, T-Mac, easily first
they're in
picks.
a way better place than Colorado.
They are, and I can live with that. Y'all are crazy in your own right.
It's a low bar.
But Colorado is just ridiculous to me. Look, when Tony and everybody else in the chat can agree with me, then you know
hell has frozen over.
It's the elevation. Maybe it does get to their head, because it does not make any sense, man. Because what happens after Shedeur and Travis are gone?
Well, Dion,
you know what's going to happen? Dion's packing his Lulu and he's on his way out. That's what's happening. It's gone. It's gone. And then what are you left with? What we just talked about. 7 freshmen. Good luck. Good luck.
7 freshmen that are probably going to leave too.
Not gonna be too good for CU.
Again, we're playing the long game here. People could talk shit about ASU right now all they want about their record. Oh,
That's fine. They were 3-19.
We beat you last year. All that. Like, we're not sitting here like, again, we aren't sitting here saying this team is like the best team in college football and they're gonna make the college football playoffs and blah 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 blah. No, the things that we rave about, the things that we say are positive, are building blocks and they're things for the future. And you cannot confidently say that Colorado is building for the future better than ASU or practically almost anybody in the Big 12 right now.
Well, they're not building for the future.
Well, right, because they're building for right now, but are they going to be able to capitalize on the right now? Probably not, because that's not really how this shit works. Like, Dion, fine. I had a little bit of FOMO at the very beginning of like, oh man, like ASU kind of passed on Dion. What? I still like Kenny. And then it's like, as the season went on, you're just like, okay, this dude's a good talker. Is he a good coach?
He was a great football player.
Oh, I mean,
one of the greatest athletes of all time.
There's no debating that whatsoever at all. But this is a guy that you watch him coach a game and you're not like, this is the greatest coach of all time. You're not getting the most out of all of your players.
You know who had better recruiting classes than Deion Sanders did?
Tell me.
Herm Edwards. Just saying. Herm Edwards did.
And we all know how amazing
Herm Edwards wasn't a good coach. Was not a good football coach by any means. And you could argue Antonio Pierce was the reason that they got a lot of those players, and rightfully so. He's a recruiting coordinator. We all know about the rule violations, whatever. ASU's paying.
Wait, no, tell me what happened.
For those sins.
What happened?
Right? But still, Arizona State, Herm Edwards, old man Herm, found a way to have better signing classes than Deion coach Prime Sanders, who isn't hard to find, but apparently he is, because only 7 commits. Only 7.
No, they can find him. They just don't want to go there.
That's crazy, man.
And I think, listen, I don't believe that Deion's at Colorado for the long haul. Only Deion Sanders knows that for sure. But you have to imagine, man, these kids are catching on to college football's bullshit. Like, you're committing to a school and you see how many times coaches are flying across the country and abandoning their kids at the drop of a dime. Literally the drop of a dime because they get more money.
Boom.
And you're probably looking at Colorado and you're saying, if I'm not ready to play right now and I'm trying to develop and I'm trying to grow, why the hell would I go there? Why would I go to a program that maybe by my sophomore or my junior year is going to be in the same place that it was 2 or 3 years ago because Deion Sanders left it in a worse place than he found it?
True.
Who's going to want to go to Colorado after Deion leaves?
Nobody. Well, look, I'm telling you right now, and National Signing Day, we're talking 2024. You look to the future.
Yeah.
Class of 2025. As it stands right now, obviously, we still got a lot of recruiting, a lot of stuff to go. As it stands right now, Arizona State has 4 commits for the class of 2024. That is third. 2025. That is third in the Big 12 as it stands right now. Texas Tech ahead of the game. They have 9. They're fourth. UCF has 4. They're second. Baylor has 6. They're number 1 in the Big 12. Arizona even. They've got a commit, and they're 11th. Colorado doesn't have a single commit.
I'm about to say, I'm looking at that list on your screen, and I was like, where the hell is Colorado?
Not a single class of 2025.
Well, gee, I wonder why he's not thinking about the future. I wonder how long Mike Norvell's at Florida State.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I mean, listen, man. I'm not necessarily rooting for the Buffs' success, but it is kind of tough to see it unfolding in real time and to see just a bunch of people not acknowledge like the doom that sits in front of them, because it was bad before Deion. It's not like Deion came in and turned this program around in 1 year. Again, bottom of the conference again. And now you're looking forward to next year and you said, I don't know if they can be consistent. I don't know if they can deliver day in and day out. I don't know if I can sit here a year from now and know that I'm going to have a good football program in Boulder.
Yeah.
But one thing I do know that 1 year from now I can do
it
is go to some bros and get me a good meal. Because they ain't going nowhere. They didn't try to microwave nothing, baby. Listen, some burros, family owned and operated. They're not just coming in and trying to flip it and get out and make some money like prime Deion Sanders. No, they're in it for the passion. They're in it for the love. And they were also voted Arizona's most loved Mexican restaurant. It's convenient. It's delicious. The amount of options, you can go to some burros every day for a month and you can get something different every single day. Like, I don't know that for a fact, but I pulled up to the drive-thru and I've seen the amount of options. And I know you can do that.
I pressed the wrong button. Oops. One of us on this set does know that for a fact because
You
they
do?
do. I go to some
Something
rows-
different
I
every
go
day?
to some. I go to some rows like twice a week.
And tell the people why that's important, Danielle. Why
Why?
is your stamp of approval on this type of food important?
As PHNX's resident Mexican.
Thank you.
Sombreros is my favorite.
Like,
I love Sombreros so much. I've been going at least once a week, every week for 20 years.
wow. The debates or the conversations that we have in this office that get the most heated revolve around authentic and real Mexican food. And Danielle will not hesitate for a second to put somebody in their gringo place when they are saying
In their
something
gringo place. That's
when they are
crazy.
saying something wrong about that type of food. So to get that stamp of approval is big time. Listen, I know
I am by far the most conflict averse person in this
Yeah.
office, but you talk Mexican food, boy. Yeah, it gets me going.
Listen, we even got some people from Tucson saying they need to try some burros. You really do. Like, genuinely, we do. We can fight about football all you want, but we can come together and we can shake hands on some burros. Listen, they got Valley locations in Flagstaff, all around the Phoenix area. It's Sonora Styles recipes, lovingly prepared since 1986. This has been a slow burn. Plus, they have their newest locations in Goodyear, Peoria, and the I-17 in Jomax, or you can visit someburros.com to find one near you. I didn't even list off all the things you can get because, man, I'm so hungry even after that mushroom bar. So go to someburros.com. You can get some catering. You can get some margs to go. You can get some chimichangas. I don't get what's not to like.
I can't believe you just said gringo in an ad read.
How, I mean,
That's crazy.
if anybody should say it, it's me. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, you are a gringo.
I think I'm allowed to say it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Listen.
nobody else is allowed to say it. I'm just saying it. Like, you got to be self-aware. You're reading a Some Burros ad, and you look like me. You need to bring in the professionals. Okay, you need to bring in the professionals.
Daniel Cortez, professional Mexican. I'm putting that on my.
Wow.
I'm putting that on my resume.
Well, on that note, guys, let me tell you about where you can make some money, and that's the BetMGM Sportsbook app. I actually was telling Erik earlier, made some money
last
on
night.
on the Suns beating the Bucks last night. Had a nice two nice juicy parlays. BetMGM, guys, if you haven't already signed up, they've got a great offer for you to make some money, and it's super easy to take advantage of. Just download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit BetMGM.com. Sign up and deposit at least $5 into your newly created account and place a wager in the amount of at least $5 at standard odds pricing. Just as simple as you got started. Once you have placed a bet, you will receive $158 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your wager. Lose, win, or draw, you're going to get some free money. Sign up for BetMGM and use that bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $5, and you'll receive $158 instantly in additional winnings regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. Now listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Boom.
I'm
All
still
right,
thinking about some burros.
Erik, I know before we move on from the topic of National
Okay.
Signing Day, I gave you my two players in Jason
Oh,
Brown Jr. and
geez.
Jaden Fortier. I'm curious what freshman you are most excited to see in a Sun Devil uniform this
Am I allowed to repeat? I would. Okay.
You
If
can-
you ask me first, I'd say those two, but I'll give you two different ones because
Okay.
you asked me second, because that's only fair. I am going to go with Kaya McDonald.
Okay.
I've looking at him recently and seeing some of what he's done. I am really interested in him. And then, geez, being labeled just an athlete,
It's pretty crazy.
I'm interested in Zechariah Sample.
Okay. I'm here
Just
for it.
Texas guy, like being labeled an athlete. He's one of the higher ranking. He's still below a couple other guys in between the two that we talked about, but they're all really close. They're all 89, 88, 87. He comes in at an 88. So I'll go with the athlete.
I love it, man. I love it. Short Bus in the chat just cooking you, man, with a super chat $4.99. Said Erik not wearing a hat. Thought it was bring your kid to work day. What's up, son? It's my
You want to
gringo-
stand up and you want to
it's my
see
gringo
whose
son.
kid?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
It is what it is.
Listen,
man.
Short Bus has already told me to put the hat back on. I get it, Short Bus. I am a hat guy. I got a haircut today, and I've noticed that when I wear a hat before I get a haircut, the haircut turns out worse because the hair gets all messed up and everything like that. So I get it, man. If I had a choice, I guess I do have a choice. I would prefer to I would prefer to wear a hat But listen, man, you gotta do what you gotta do to get a fresh cut. And I got an important week next week, so I can't mess that up.
I love it, man. You do have an important.
I do have an important week next week.
I
won't be here for a couple days next week. So
can we tell them why?
Yeah, I'm getting married.
Congratulations.
Who's the baby now, short bus? Who's the baby now? Yeah, man. I'm super excited. Super happy. Man. Taking off Saturday through Valentine's Day. Getting married on my anniversary.
No invite's crazy though.
Huh?
No invite's crazy.
Oh, there's like 5 people coming. It's gonna be at my parents' house.
Likely story.
It's gonna be in the backyard.
Okay, just tell me you don't want me at your wedding, man. I got it.
Actually, I only want you at my wedding. I want to marry you, Totri. I don't want anybody else there.
Dude, I respect that, man.
Thank you. I
appreciate you.
So that's why I'm not wearing a hat today. Long-winded answer.
Love it, man. Love it.
What a show. Mushroom bars, gringo drops, dropping the fact that I'm getting married. I'm apparently cooking.
And then, let him cook.
I feel like we need to make 2 of those because Totri was also cooking earlier. We've both been cooking.
Sorry, man. It is what it is. Things you love to see. But while we are continuously talking about random things on this National Signing Day show, we might as well talk about Antonio Pierce and Jayden Daniels. Antonio Pierce, obviously a former Arizona State coach, defensive coordinator, recruiting coordinator. I know this conversation may turn a couple people off, but it also could excite you. And let me tell you why. Because there are rumors and a lot of discussion on social media about Antonio Pierce as the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, potentially going and finding a way to move up in the draft to select Jayden Daniels out of LSU, former Arizona State quarterback, of course. The 2 linking up, teaming up in Las Vegas and taking on the NFL. And, I mean, we'll get your thoughts on it. My initial thought to this would be bring it on. Bring it on.
This would be hilarious. I'm sorry. Objectively, this would be so funny. The Sun Devil in me, it hurts. It hurts just a little bit. But Jayden, if I told you 2 years ago, Totri, that Jayden Daniels would be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, coached by Antonio Pierce, that'd be the funniest goddamn thing of all time. I'm sorry. It'd be so funny.
I don't think Jayden Daniels, this could be fully like this could go wrong for me. Okay. I don't think Jayden Daniels is going to translate to the NFL very well. From what I've seen from him, watching him, covering him, I just don't think he reads defenses very well. I know he won the Heisman. Congratulations on the Heisman. I just don't think it's necessarily going to translate nearly as well.
Every Heisman winning quarterback has gone on to have a very successful NFL career. Yeah, that's a fact. We all know that that's 100% true, and you don't need to fact check me.
I think it is crazy that people are talking about Jayden Daniels going in the top 3, but we know that quarterbacks are a dime a dozen in the league.
Hey, if Jayden Daniels could help out those Arizona Cardinals, baby, and bring me Maserati Marv, then God, please go third. Please go third. You want to know how I know that it's going to be a long shot? And I won't completely rule it out. I'm sorry, I hit you a little.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I won't completely rule out Jayden Daniels being successful because I didn't think he's going to be that successful at LSU, and I was wrong, so I could also be wrong again. But how I know, or how I can imagine that this doesn't work out well, is just how he looks when he gets hit. The dude's a freaking rag doll. He's flying all over the place. It's like a cartoon character every time he gets hit. It's like he gets folded in like 18 different ways.
Well, he doesn't slide. He doesn't slide.
No, and so like
you could take one hit from an NFL linebacker and you are going to learn how to slide.
Yeah,
like that's just the way it works.
And so I mean that's a skill that somebody can develop. Jayden can get better. He won the freaking Heisman, but like I'm sorry, he's not a top 3 pick. Well, in my opinion, if the New England Patriots want to do it, then please do it.
Well, and the Raiders sit at 13. So
they'd have to.
From all indications, it sounds like the Raiders would have to trade up a significant amount to go up and go get Jayden Daniels. Let's assume they have to trade into the top 3. Let's say they have to trade up to 3 with the Patriots.
The Pats want Garoppolo back?
Who are also quarterback needy, right? And they've got a new head coach. Like it's going to be very interesting to see. It would cost them a lot to go up, but I could also see the Raiders potentially trading with the Cardinals if the Cardinals don't get.
Yeah, if Marv goes.
If Marv is gone,
I don't know because
I
want Joe because Joe Alt is going to be up there too.
But Joe Alt will fall. Joe Alt will fall in this draft.
I could also see Jayden falling, man.
I don't think Jayden gets past 8.
8, yeah. Atlanta.
I don't think he gets past Atlanta.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then you're talking about a lot of quarterback needy teams.
There's a lot of quarterback needy teams.
You're talking about the Vikings, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Saints. Like, you're talking about teams right there that all could use a quarterback moving forward. The Jets, the
Bears. I mean, the Bears are going to have a chance to take.
The Bears will get a quarterback in this draft for sure.
Titans, if they don't believe in Will Levis, which seems like a Titans thing for them to do.
I think it makes, and I'm not trying to help the Las Vegas Raiders here, and it's not like they're.
Seems like you are, but okay.
It's not like they're tuning in to this podcast for draft advice.
Hi, Antonio.
But I think it would make a lot of sense for the Raiders to trade their second-round pick and maybe an asset or two to get Justin Fields from the Bears.
To get Justin Fields.
I like Justin Fields.
Okay.
I do as a quarterback. I think he's going to be way better than Jayden Daniels is going to be in the league. But that's just, again, my 2 cents. I could be totally wrong on this. I do think it would be very, very interesting.
Is that the next Totri's 2 cents?
What?
Why Jayden Daniels should not go
maybe
at the top of the NFL draft?
Maybe. That might be. We're just throwing out all sorts of ideas, man.
I think that works.
I absolutely love it. But it certainly will be interesting to see what happens on draft night. I love the NFL draft. It's one of my favorite times of the year, like to just see some of these college kids just get to their new homes, right, and kind of see what they're capable of. Antonio Pierce, obviously, people have very mixed feelings about him in Tempe, the same way they feel about Jayden Daniels.
He was always a good, like, the problem and the reason why people don't like Antonio Pierce in Tempe.
Follow the fucking rules.
Yes, duh, that's the right answer. But the real reason why people really care is because the dude was damn good while he was here.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of belief that, like, this guy is the future of the program. Like, Herm's taking it now, and Antonio Pierce is either going to leave for a better job after really helping us, or he's going to stay and he's going to be the guy. Right? Like, people loved this dude here. The players loved him. The coaches loved him. The media loved him. Like, he was that fucking guy.
He was.
And then he screwed the entire program over. And so when you go from one end all the way to the other, then you're going to be hated here. And that is not at all an indictment on how good of a coach he could be in the NFL, because obviously he rallies a bunch of dudes. And he really got that locker room believing in him and all of that. But he's lucky he ain't got to recruit. He's lucky he doesn't have to recruit. We got some questions in the chat from Zona Tucson 93. Who are you rooting for on Sunday?
Super Bowl Sunday?
Sunday.
I'm in a mixed spot, man, because I'm used to watching the Chiefs kick our ass. And by our, I mean the Los Angeles Chargers ass twice a year. My heart wants the 49ers to win because my dad's a 49ers fan and Brandon Ayuk went to Arizona State. My wallet tells me that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win.
I mean, I am rooting for Ayuk. I don't think I can ever bring myself to root for the 49ers as a whole. No, thank you. I'm okay on that. But I also don't want to root for the Chiefs. You know what I'm rooting for? Taylor Swift's private jet to be put out of commission. That's what I'm rooting for.
I'm rooting for one hell of a halftime show. That's what I'm rooting for.
Yeah? Oh, you do you have money on what is going to be?
I'm taking OMG.
You're taking OMG
at plus 800. I think the
OMG
value
at
on
plus
that's stupid.
Is a great
value.
my
gosh.
I feel like he's going to start with yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks he's going to start with
I think is probably the ender.
Yeah,
he might do like that little, like, they come in with like a teaser. They play like 30 seconds, the crowd gets hype, and then they cut it, and then they end with it.
Yeah, well, and then the whole stadium goes dark, and then he yells, "Peace up, A-Town down."
Peace up,
A-Town. I'm with that. Oh, I'm down with that.
Oh my goodness.
We're off the fucking rails today.
We are sober, okay, aside from the mushroom bar that he ate.
I'm sober. I am sober.
But I'll tell you what, I wasn't sober last night. Took some OGs, and I've got this. So I watch, like, religiously. Me and my roommate are, like, binge watching shows. We just finished Game of Thrones. Started Euphoria last night. I've never seen Euphoria.
Oh, that's a ride.
I took an OGs. I took an OGs for the first and watched those first 2 episodes. I'm hooked. I am locked in. OGs does that not only with great shows, does it with the simplest of things. I could be watching a stupid YouTube video like this one and be losing my mind off of OGs, guys. They've launched 2 new products made with live rosin and RSO, the OGs Naturals and the Big OGs. OGs Naturals are a vegan gummy made with live rosin, and it's available in sweet clementine flavor. If you don't like the sweet clementine flavor or you just want to try something new, highly recommend OGs. They have a bunch of different flavors. I'm trying the Happy Balance ones right now, and they taste literally like candy. Okay,
it's
literal
actually
candy.
uncanny. Like It's so stupid, and it's why if you have these in your house and you also have a child in your house, which some people in the comments have said that they have today, warning me about children in marriage, which don't need that, thank you. They taste like candy.
They do.
They don't taste like weed. And that's really great for when you're trying to enjoy it, but also like be careful. Don't just like leave them out and about and like unpackaged or anything like that, because somebody could take a little nibble and be like, oh, it's just a candy.
Yeah.
It's just a candy.
No, you're absolutely right. Guys, to learn more about OG's Gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com. I do want to get to Short Bus's super chat that he had earlier, $1.99. Can Donald fill in for Erik when he is gone?
Ooh, I'll tell you what.
When are you leaving?
I will be off of, well, I'm staying in I'm taking the 10th through the 14th off.
10th through the 14th.
So I think that's Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm back Thursday.
That's funny because I leave Thursday. I'm gone.
Do you actually leave
gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And I'm gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
This show is going to
What the hell are we going to do?
This show's going to look real interesting next week, guys.
I didn't even know that you were gone.
Yeah, I'm gone for Vegas next week.
So this is breaking news to me. Am I hosting then? I'm assuming.
We could discuss this.
All right.
Later.
Awesome.
But yeah, we absolutely.
Welcome to behind the scenes, guys.
We'll get into that. No, man, it's
going to be a week next week. I feel like we should just give Short Bus and Donald the reins.
I don't think PHNX would exist after that.
No, they wouldn't. if
Should
you
we just do whoever donates the most amount of money gets to host next week? No.
Wait.
No,
a
dude.
Super chat off?
No.
Whoever super chats the most money by
goodness.
next week gets to host the show. I'm just kidding. We can't do that.
To
I would like to
that
stay
one.
employed. Totri would also like
I would
to
definitely
stay
like to stay
employed. That's weird, dude. I did not realize that we were basically going to be trading off next week. But
yeah. And Shane comes back soon.
my gosh.
This show's in for a lot of fun, guys. Look, this chat, we've got a ton of people in here today, whether that be for National Signing Day, whether it be because I pissed you off on Twitter. It may be that reason.
Both.
But I love it. I love the people that we have in the chat, starting to get a lot more consistent with some people that we haven't seen in the past. Hank, House of Heat Sports has been in here. Clint's always in here. Glenn's always in here. LTC's in here. Also, some of our PHNX diehards in here as well. Short Bus, Sharon, Donald going 1, 2, 3 right there. Absolutely love to see it, guys. They are always going off in the diehard Discord. It quite literally is like this YouTube chat, but it is going 24/7, 365. Me and Erik are always in there, dropping links, having conversations. Not just the ASU chat, Coyotes, Diamondbacks, Suns, Cardinals. The diehard Discord is my favorite part of the diehard membership. But again, we are really building this ASU community. It's a lot of fun to see. Even if you're a Wildcat fan, there's a Wildcat chat in there as well. I know sometimes from time to time you hop in the Wildcat chat. Some of our own PHNX diehards from the ASU side of things are constantly giving shit to the Wildcat diehards. So definitely head over to gophnx.com. Highly consider you guys check out becoming a diehard. The diehard Discord is just one of several perks of being a PHNX diehard, including exclusive content, discounts on merch, events, and so much more. We are literally in there at the start and after every single show. The only time that we're not talking in the diehard Discord is quite literally while we are spending our hour in this show.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. The community is really growing, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you want to be like an OG member, because a year from now when ASU is actually like doing really good and there are more people in there, you want to say, damn it, I was there when Erik was about to wear a Speedo. I was there when Erik ate a mushroom bar live on air. Got to get in that diehard Discord now. Another benefit of listening to this show, you don't have to be a diehard to get this, so we are going to offer this to you, is that you can get $350 off new flooring. And you can do that with our friends over at Empire today. Listen, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Plus, they service their own warranties from within Empire today, which means if you have a problem, you need to talk to somebody, you need to figure something out, you're not being sent out to a third party. As somebody who has had to deal with that type of stuff, not specifically with flooring, but with other companies, it is infuriating. You don't have to deal with that with Empire today. Plus, you don't have to worry about not getting the right flooring for your room because you can get an at-home floor visualizer. You can see exactly what they're going to look like in your room with your decorations, with everything, your lighting, all of that, and you can be 100% sure on your purchase and also get it easy, quick, and convenient. Listen, guys, Empire Today keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. They pride themselves at their convenient shop-at-home service, and they're just here to help you find what's right for you. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. That is the 4 best letters in the alphabet, PHNX. Restrictions do apply. Go ahead and head on over to empiretoday.com/PHNX for all the details.
Absolutely, guys. That is going to do it for today's PHNX Sun Devil show. Like I said, we really, really do appreciate everybody hopping in the chat today. Like I said, head over to gophnx.com today. Click that Die Hard tab. Check it out. Again, if you enjoyed the content, give us a follow on PHNX_Sun Devils. We do this at least at a minimum 5 days a week, talking Arizona State and really just college athletics at this point, guys. Give us a follow. Donald, I dropped the link. YouTube doesn't like it when I send links in the chat for some reason, and you're already a PHNX diehard, Donald. So, again, follow us at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Erik Ruby at Erik Ruby on social. That is Erik with a K. And you can follow DJ Danielle and Aprica Danielle across social media, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, go Devils. Happy National Signing Day. And peace.
We all silly like the mayor.